Now let's have a bigger conversation here. Are we sure that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league? Yeah. Are we sure about that? Because I would have to argue, and I would have to say right now today, that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA.
He's delusional.
Nikola Jokic, for the better part of the 2020s, has been the unquestioned best player in the NBA, racking up 3 MVPs, 4 All-NBA first teams, 130 triple-doubles, and of course, 1 iconic championship run. Now, in spite of the overall numbers, the accolades, and of course that elusive championship, the Joker's path to the best player in the world was anything but easy.
If I gotta take a big man first, and I have to start a team and build it around him, it'll be Joel Embiid for me.
You are wrong!
If Nikola Jokic wins the MVP, he's the worst player to win the MVP since Dave Cowens.
No. You went full retard, man.
Does SGA have a case for MVP over Jokic?
A case? He's getting my vote for MVP.
Now, those takes right there obviously age like milk, but we're looking at the biggest Jokic hater. It's not Marcus Spears, Nick Wright, even Stephen A. Smith. The biggest Jokic hater by far is Kendrick Perkins. As looking at Perkins, he's downright unhinged and deranged when it comes to Nikola Jokic.
Are we sure that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league? Are we sure about that? Because I would have to argue, and I would have to say right now today, that LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. Here's why I said.
Take it easy, champ. Why don't you stop talking for a while?
So, stopping Big Perk right there, 2 of his favorite hobbies, downplaying the Joker and writing LeBron James, he's combined into one. Imagine LeBron James back in the day was averaging a 28-point triple-double, shooting 58% from the field and 44% from 3, leading the NBA in PR, offensive box plus minus, really any advanced stat metric that showed your overall value to your team. If LeBron James was doing that, Kendrick Perkins would bound at the altar, saying he's the greatest player of all time, with the highest peak in NBA history. And I gotta ask you guys one question very quickly. Looking at the mainstream sports media, ESPN, Fox Sports, I guess CBS, ABC, is there one media personality who's dubbed as the Jokic guy, the Jokic defender? Looking at these networks, I don't see that. The people defending the Joker are actual fans and independent media members. The mainstream media, they despise Nikola Jokic, and he has no cheerleaders in the media. As of course, if he did, he'd be being propped up right now as the clear-cut best player in the world and the runaway MVP. As looking at the month of February, 27 points per game, 12 boards, and 12 assists on above 60% shooting. This past month, the Joker was the only player in the NBA top 10 in all those categories, and of course the Nuggets went 10-2 during the month.
Most impressive.
The Joker putting up those stats, averaging a 27-point triple-double on 60% shooting, despite those numbers and the team winning, was not the player of the month. That, of course, was LeBron James.
We was robbed!
If any player not named Nikola Jokic put up those stats had that impact, I mean, it'd be unquestioned the MVP, and obviously the player of the month for February. But of course, the Joker doesn't have mainstream media cheerleaders boosting him up 24/7 and inflating him to greater heights than he actually deserves.
That LeBron James is the best player in the NBA.
LeBron James has been great since turning 40. He's been great for a month and a half. But he's not the best player in the world or a top 5 player. That's not hate, that's reality. And comparing the overall numbers of Nikola Jokic since LeBron turned 40, if you want to say LeBron's been better, is better, the numbers, the eye test, just do not back that up. The Joker since December 30th is averaging a 27-point triple-double, and a 60% shooting, 2 steals, and 16 triple-doubles in 28 total games. And look, LeBron's overall numbers also fantastic, and Lakers as of late have been on a heater. But LeBron's overall impact at age 40, I mean, just let's be real. He's still a great player, but he's not Nikola Jokic level great or top 5 great. I mean, personally, I wouldn't even say top 10. As again, looking at overall value, there's a Grand Canyon size gap in him and Nikola Jokic. As since turning 40, LeBron's plus minus is only plus 84. Jokic since that date is a plus 304. And looking at the entire season, it gets even bigger. The Joker, plus 519, second best in the NBA. LeBron James, minus 19, that's 318th in the league. The bottom line for Nikola Jokic, if you have one game, one series, or one playoff run, and you gotta pick one player in the NBA to have that run with, you're taking the Joker easily at that number one spot.
The best player in the NBA gets it done on both ends of the floor. LeBron James is getting it done at the age of 40 on both ends of the floor at a high level. He could guard 1 through 5 defensively. Offensively, we know what he could do. Damn it, he could damn near play 1 through 5. I would have to say right now, he's the best player in the NBA.
Stop it. Get some help.
So stopping Perkins right there, just it's narrative central, no facts, no data. Just believe what I am saying. In regards to Perkins' overall point, talking about defense 1 through 5, offense 1 through 5, I mean, that's again a narrative, but looking past that, just because you're versatile and play 1 through 5 doesn't mean you're better than someone who only plays 4 through 5. As of course, looking at the Joker, he can't run the point, play shooting guard, do any of that stuff. But the Joker in the post, running the 4 and the 5, is better than any player in the league. And look, in regards to defense, LeBron James, I mean, we watch this guy play, his effort on defense is suspect at best. The overall defensive gap between LeBron and Jokic at this point in their careers is not that wide. And looking at the overall numbers and the data, the facts of the matter, Jokic this year is first in defensive box plus minus, 8th in defensive win shares, 2nd in steals, and 3rd in defensive rebounds. Unlike past years, Nikola Jokic isn't a negative on defense or even average on defense, as looking at the defensive glass, based off that alone, is a net positive for their team and their paint defense. Also, one big time plus for the Joker in the passing lanes, he is very much active, disruptive, hitting passes, getting steals, and creating fast break opportunities.
But it looks like the Warriors are navigating it well. Turnover. 3-on-3, Jokic got it from Brown.
But that's Denver getting out and running, and they can do more on the floor as opposed to off the floor. Tonight, the Nuggets plus 15 with you 3 for 4 from 3. I mean, for a guy like him to shoot over.
Now, one last thing I do want to touch on, when it comes to ESPN's coverage of the best player in the world, one guy they never ever mention is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if, like Kendrick Perkins, you value defense so much, think Jokic is so bad on defense, Giannis definitively is the best player in the world. And looking at the month of February, much like the Joker, was dominant in all facets. 25 points per game, 11 boards, 7 assists, 58% shooting. The Bucks, they went 6-1. For guys like Jokic and Giannis, for some reason, they just kind of get ignored, brushed aside, and really diminished in these talks with the best player in the world. Because of course, at the end of the day, either Giannis or Jokic, 1A, 1B. For me personally, I'm rolling with the Joker. So that right there is the end of the video, and I'll make one last final point. Imagine some random NBA player named Nikola Jokic. He's leading the NBA in PR, offensive win shares per 48, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, and is top 10 in nearly every category. Do you think that player by ESPN wouldn't be propped up and promoted as the best player in the world? Of course they would. But for Nikola Jokic, time and time again, despite the numbers, the team success, the overall value, just doesn't get that respect, acknowledgement by the mainstream sports media, and especially Kendrick Perkins. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.